Hey, what's up out there? It's your boy Eric from Birdie Fever, and today I'm here to make a video about the reactions to the Good tournament from grass clippings in Arizona. It recently came to my mind to make a video about this topic because of three key videos that were put out on YouTube recently. One was the Foreplay podcast video talking about the situation. Then the Nate Edwardson video that was just released talking about should players get paid to play in these events. And then lastly, I just watched the Finch video from the Finch podcast, which I had no experience with beforehand, but was able to watch that video, and it brought kind of a culmination of effect of all three of those videos, giving me a very good idea in my mind, and just got my juices flowing. So basically what I'm going to do is I've never had a podcast before. I'm not a podcast dude. We don't have a podcast channel yet. So we're going to be throwing this on our main channel. But I'm just going to be watching this video on this device and then kind of like reacting to it and just sharing my overall thoughts of what needs to take place in the YouTube golf space in order to push it further and grow it. All right, so here we go.
Now, the question is, and I think a few people have been asking in the Discord especially, is that they felt that you might not want to go off the back of this one, thinking, oh, you've not been given your fair crack at showing off on the cameras and all this kind of stuff. I suppose it's a two-part question. One, were you bothered about that, hearing that?
Interesting. I think probably deep down, yes. But like I said, I think everybody on that golf course would have wanted more screen time.
Of course.
So probably in that sense, a little bit. And if we went over just for this, so we spent a week out there getting loads of content. So this was at the very end of the trip. If we went over just for that, then it would have been a little bit more annoying, because obviously I was the only guy from outside. Well, Matt from Canada,
flown in,
and Sarah, but I was the only kind of guy who'd come in from outside the States.
Yeah.
So potentially that, might have found it a little bit more annoying, but it's a live broadcast from a golf event.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say you didn't slap it around and they didn't show you because you slapped it around. So.
Imagine slapping it around and then they got the cameras on.
Yeah, they show you.
I'd be like, oh my God, please don't.
Go away.
Please go away.
Find someone else.
You do not need to be near me right now.
Okay. Well, so, it's good that.
All right, so basically in the opening segment, Finch talks about was it a little bit annoying that he didn't receive as much airtime as some of the other players in the tournament. And he said, it kind of was annoying. But it was mostly because he had traveled from, he didn't really travel from his home area overseas. He was already in LA or he was already close. But still, he was one of the only ones I think that was from outside the United States. I think Mac Boucher is also from outside the United States.
It's good that you're not too annoyed about it, but I guess going forward into going to French Lick, is there any desire to go? Do you want to go? Has this put you off from going? I think people would like to see you go.
I think on that, maybe other people were more annoyed on my behalf than I was.
Yeah.
Let's make that clear. Yeah. I'm pretty sanguine about it. But I think for something like this event in the summer, because I know it's like a week before Open qualifying as well. So it's not.
That was the first thing I checked in the diary.
Yeah. So it's not exactly ideal preparation, and obviously the expense of kind of getting out there. Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, probably not. Because bear in mind, everyone who went to this event kind of paid their own way to get there.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna host an event like this as well, obviously good, massive name within kind of YouTube golf now. And when you host an event like this, similar to what Rick did with the YouTube Golf Day a few years ago, you're organising an event, you're inviting everyone down, and they're bringing their audiences. So that's why we got a lot of comments being slightly annoyed about not getting more screen time, is because we were playing in this event, and our audience said, okay, playing in this event, we'll watch it.
In our sort of little echo chamber of our fans, that's all we hear. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So everyone who went would be bringing their own kind of audiences to that. So if you're hosting an event like this, it's great because you're getting loads and loads of input from everywhere.
Yeah.
So this event in the summer, I'd be interested to know who goes.
Yeah.
And I'd be interested to know if any of it like would be expensed.
Yeah, potentially.
Because if you're trying to draw, bear in mind this event was going on at the Waste Management, so a lot of people were there already.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like they're going to a bit more of a...
Yeah, so this is a little bit more kind of...
So in this part of the podcast, Peter Finch talks about whether or not he's going to go to the next upcoming YouTube tournament put on by Good in French Lick, which is a course in Indiana, I believe. And it's scheduled for the beginning of June. And he's interested to see whether or not, like how many people are going to come out or if it's going to be different people or whatever. So Peter Finch here talks about that there was already people at the Waste Management. So that's maybe why they were able to get the draw for the players that they did, because people were kind of like all-in-one type of week. But he said that he's interested to know if there's going to be the same amount of people, the same people going back to this next upcoming event at French Lick. I'd agree with that. I'm definitely interested too to see if there's going to be the same people or just as many or more people, because this one's isolated.
A little bit more of a specific venue.
Yeah, a little more isolated place rather than,
So I would imagine there'd obviously be quite a few people going, but I'd probably imagine it wouldn't be quite as big.
So Peter Finch doesn't think that without compensation to the creators and YouTube golfers that they will be able to get the same draw as they did for this last one in Arizona.
As far as the amount of creators who are going, unless they could kind of get expense for travel.
Yeah, maybe they don't want it that big as well, given that it'll be 18 holes and how they feel they can do with, covering it and stuff. Because maybe that's one of the things they take from this and go, okay, well, we didn't get enough coverage of everyone else because there was 6 people on a tee box every time and it was hard to pick and choose. So maybe they say, let's just make it a 10 to 15 man field and go and have like 3 tee times of 4 or something. And
I mean, that's why they had kind of most of those biggest creators at the back of the field in those groups.
Yeah,
because it was easy to film.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So fully understand why they did that. And like those guys, those guys have been smashing it.
So that's interesting. Peter Finch kind of, says that he understands that the guys that were in the back of the tournament that were being filmed last and got most of the airtime in the tournament, he understands that it was those guys that got it because they smash. That was pretty cool. Although I don't agree with it.
Fully deserved to be filmed.
absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't know. In the summer, I don't really think so.
Okay.
I don't really think so.
I think it's one of those as well, being involved in the first one. Like you were involved in the first live stream. Like I think that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like it's an experience within yourself, that you've got.
And it's also a sign of things
To come.
to come as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you've got here, I've been doing this, like I said, over 10 years now. And if you'd have told me at the start that this would be where it'd get to, I could maybe envisage it, but it'd be a very far-flung theory in my mind.
On this level, the NBC is going to be sort of part of it as well and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's
exactly right.
It's completely. This is a completely uncharted territory now. We've moved from YouTube videos being small production, not really much going on, like the old days of YouTube.
Yeah. Pass the camera around.
All the rest of it. And I'm not just talking about. I'm not just talking about golf here. I'm talking about the whole kind of YouTube landscape. Remember back in the day, it was pretty much just daily vlogs from everybody. You think of the Casey Neistat days.
Yeah.
And now it's moved on to this, where you've got kind of the Mr. Beast era, if you will. But you've got a live golf tournament being streamed on YouTube. Yes, it broke away, but mostly on YouTube. And that event is getting more views than DP World Tour and Live.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah,
which is mental.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If you think about it, like, that is absolutely crazy. But it takes an organization like Good, which are obviously a massive kind of brand now. They've got that amount of power within the industry. Obviously, they have the side of their business which isn't golf YouTube. You're talking about the apparel and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's massive.
I was going to say, and they how many they employ as well. I reckon
it's huge.
Yeah.
If you think about how interconnected they are with everything now, you need a business like that to be able to kind of pull those strings.
100%.
And obviously get NBC involved was incredible as well. So I can only see this getting more and more popular. And I can see the structure and how it all works getting kind of better and better and better as well. So I think, like I said, this is the first event. It was great to be involved with it. Really enjoyed it. And it's
so Peter Finch here goes into, he was glad to be a part of this first one. Basically, he is interested to see where it goes and stuff like that. And so we have some ideas about where we think it should go and where we think it will go. And that's actually one of the reasons that we started Birdie Fever, and we wanted to get into the YouTube golf space, because we do have visions for, or a vision for the future of YouTube golf, where there will be teams and things competing against each other in real competition, whether it be live or video, recorded video. It doesn't matter so much, but we do believe that there's a future, a big future involved with YouTube golf.
Going to be interested to see how it progresses now.
It is a thought, isn't it? And I don't think it's out of the realms of dreaming of an established YouTube golfers like tour, because I mean, there's nothing to say that sponsors would look at this compared to sponsoring the PGA Tour stuff and go, well, why don't we get that going and I'll put some money into that, because there's more people watching. You're going to get the views. It's on a space, if you keep it on YouTube especially, it's on a space that
is free.
It's free, and it's where all these people have come from and why these people are here are watching it. I don't know. It feels, obviously we can think about where this could go, but it feels like it's more and more possible every day.
Oh yeah. The biggest barriers to all this is going to be, in the end of it, it's going to be money. It's going to be investment. So it's also going to be how you could potentially figure out some kind of split, because obviously with this particular event, I've no idea how much this would have cost to kind of like organize. You've obviously got the buy-in from NBC. You've got the sponsors coming in and they're selling tickets for the event.
Yeah.
I have no idea if this was a profit-making enterprise, an event, or if this was just like to cover cost. Absolutely no idea. But if you think about, let's say the best case scenario, where it's an 18-hole tournament, or like 18-hole golf course anyway, live streamed, and all the biggest golf YouTube creators are there. Okay, so you got Rick, you got Bob Does Sports, obviously you got the good guys, you got everyone kind of in this one place. Everybody is there because of the content they make. Okay, so no one would be playing in this event unless they created content, specifically mostly on YouTube. So if you go to a live event, all of a sudden you're not making a video.
Yeah.
Certainly in the sense that video was going out straight away.
Yeah.
also, like I said, the bigger the creator is, the more people they're bringing to that event. How are they going to be like compensated?
Yeah.
By like in terms of fees.
Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, for this event, we went over there. I wanted to kind of experience this. But if we were to go to another event, I wouldn't necessarily wanted to pay for that.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
And I know that a lot of the biggest creators in this field, they're not going to be going on somebody else's live stream for nothing.
Yeah.
So it's how it all works out from there, and because it is everyone's dream, I think. Certainly in the golf YouTube space, is to have like a full tournament, to have like a Ryder Cup. Mm-hmm. These things have been kind of mentioned and going around for years, and I think it really would work. But it's who organises it, how's it split, like where's it placed?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. If it's a YouTube-based event, it has to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
In my eye, it wouldn't make sense for it to be solely on like a Sky or an NBC or whatever.
Peacock, yeah.
It just wouldn't make sense. Like it has to be live streamed on YouTube, or you're just negating the audience that's made it possible.
Yeah. No, it's a very good point. Yeah, and it definitely does need to stay on YouTube for sure.
So in this last segment, very, very important stuff that came out of here. So the other gentleman, I'm not sure who it is, but the guy that's on the right in the video, he starts out that segment kind of like talking about, could it go to a tour, which is a very, very close situation idea to what we have. And then Peter Finch goes into talking about the splits, like how would that work and all of that. So we have a pretty good idea of how that would work and what would be the best situation, even though we understand that there's not going to be a perfect solution no matter what anybody thinks. There will be no perfect way that this can get done. However, the best way and the tried and true way that this stuff has been handled for at least, let's say, 70 years or so, has been a certain way. And that way is the way that I think that will carry this forward if somebody should step up and assume the risk. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
I don't know. It's all kind of like logistics.
Well, unless a broadcasting company takes it on and then will pay creators like yourself, Rick, all them to come and be on that live stream channel. Do you know what I mean? And then they can make and then if you want to make a video,
kind of needs YouTube to do it.
Well, yeah.
Which would be great. But and it sounds like, I don't know, it just sounds a bit messy. But
you could see how it could sort of be. It could not happen in terms of like, it could be too logistically troublesome in terms of like who gets what, that it wouldn't go ahead, sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's you don't want to be like, again, you don't really want to be thinking about these things because it's not again the best thing about YouTube from a viewer standpoint is at the point that you log on, that you watch a video, it's free.
It's free. Yeah.
So you don't want to put it like behind a paywall. You don't want any of that. It's just like a situation which is obviously really new.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Because that's the thing as well. Like
we only had one go at it.
Exactly. Yeah, this is all,
exactly. And like with YouTube videos, I mean, everyone will know this. Like with YouTube videos, if somebody, if I go off and film a video with Grant, for example, he'll make videos with us. We'll make videos with him.
Easy split.
It's a split. That's how kind of collaborations work. So if it's one-off events, I don't know the answer.
But if you just kind of break it down to simply like what's the reason for all of that is the fact, at the end of the day, the filming and all this kind of stuff and making the videos is your job, is our job. It's how we make money. It's how we make a living. So if you're going to an event like this and you're not being able to do those things, you need to be compensated in some other way, which is what you're saying. So if it was a case of everyone doesn't get anything out of it and it's just YouTube streams it, but you all get paid X X amount of money to turn up, similar to be like what a tour would be, in that, or you have a winnings, you know, you win if you finish in a certain place.
Maybe like some kind of prize fund potentially, because that adds in actual competition then as well. It makes the event, you know, you
Proper serious.
proper event kind of thing. But I just don't like thinking about this in some ways. You know, like I said, the best thing about YouTube for people watching is it's free, and then as soon as you start talking about fees for different creators, it starts to get messy.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. It feels like these things need to happen. It's the next progression. But I don't know.
The beauty of this event was that people came together off the back of just
because they wanted to be there.
Yeah, they wanted to be there. Yeah. They wanted to be part of that hub, that community, that the group of guys that is now on YouTube and the YouTube golf space, is they felt like they just wanted to be part of it. And again, that was kind of the feel that you got through the live stream and from speaking to you now and when you came back, that there was this really just kind of friendly environment that was created. And that's kind of what YouTube golf essentially is at the minute anyway. I think you don't have the drama of live, and you don't have the apart from good splitting up about 2 years ago, but like that even those things seem so weird of like people are so committed and invested in this. But we're at this point now where
So I found out the guy on the right's name is Jacob. So just in case anybody was wondering. So that guy I was referring to earlier on the right is Jacob. And so Jacob has a good idea about that. And then this last segment of the video, kind of like the last third of the video here, it breaks down basically, well, it doesn't break down really anything. It's just kind of like an idea that Peter Finch has that he realizes that it needs to be on YouTube, which I agree with as well. It does have to be on YouTube, and it has to stay on YouTube. But he doesn't know how it's going to get broken down as far as like payouts and things like that. So now that the video is concluded, I'll give you guys my thoughts on what I envision for the YouTube space that will come at some point. It's just a matter of who or what will step up to make it happen. And so what I envision is that basically at some point, there's going to be a bunch of different teams or squads or channels that are going to play matches and things against each other, possibly tournaments. And so I envision that the best way forward, instead of trying to put up just a tournament, one tournament or two tournaments, try and make a series of scheduled tournaments that are scheduled, at the beginning of the year before people plan their year, so that no one has an excuse to duck them. And it's a full schedule, quote, full schedule. So this could be a series like 6 to 8 events. It doesn't have to be like 20 events. But 6 to 8 events, I think with the attention span of YouTube, that would be sufficient. But to do 6 to 8 events that basically have a player's cup, so that there will be a points champion crowned, a YouTube points champion crowned, and a Ryder Cup style tournament broadcast after those 6 to 8 events happen and the YouTube champion is crowned. And so this is where, in the Ryder Cup, it's the captains chosen for Europe, captains chosen for the US, and they play. In this, it could be something like where the YouTube champion is a captain and gets to choose. And then maybe whoever like the highest person of the sponsoring group or something like that, it gets to choose the other or is the other captain and gets to choose the other team. So for instance, Peter Finch and Jacob and Kieran here on the podcast, on the Peter Finch podcast, they don't know how it's going to get done. Well, I'm going to tell you, that I believe the only way that this gets done is if Good or another large player or combination of players in the YouTube space get together and create what I'm suggesting here. And so I believe that it will happen where there's going to be some sort of a tour. I don't know if it's going to have all the elements that I've laid out here, but it should. That would be really, really awesome. But someone is going to have to assume this risk. And it's either going to have to be investors, or it's going to have to be good, or it's going to have to be a combination of some of the biggest players in the space to come together and make it happen. But I believe that this is the only way that the space is going to grow. So I don't even think that good can really grow too much from here unless they grow the space around them. So I believe that they're really reaching their bubble, the top of their bubble. And I don't think that it has to be that way, but I think that if they continue to create productions that seem very like, and I don't want this to sound the wrong way. So Matt, if you're watching this, Kendrick, don't take any offense to this. It's just from looking at comments and things like that in some of these videos that are reactionary to the tournament, it seems that there's a certain viewer, a good viewer, that is actually like turned off now to this whole thing, and it's because they see that it's like a selfish. They see it as like more of a selfish tournament and a selfish production versus like a growth production for the space. And so like Peter Finch was actually thinking, or actually it was Kieran who said in this video that it seemed like there were people that came together for just the sport of it, and they all came together just to be part of the first live broadcasted tournament on YouTube. And so, and that they could feel that through the podcast. And I agree. I feel the same way. There was people that traveled, they cut off everything else that they had going on and they made it happen. But like Peter said, as far as like the next one, I think it's going to be increasingly harder and harder to get people to come out for these events where there's no purse, or there's no straight up compensation that's arranged beforehand. So this brings me to my idea of the whole thing, is that with a tour of 6 to 8 tournaments, a Points Cup champion, and a Ryder Cup like finale that could be live or not live, whatever. But the other tournaments I think should be filmed and not live. I don't think that the consumer base is demanding live tournaments. I think that's really just like an artificial push that doesn't really need to occur. I think it's wasteful at the moment, but it was awesome. It was not as good of a production than I thought it would be from how it was hyped and from how much money they said they were spending. And sorry, I'm sorry for sniffling, and I'm under the weather, so I'm sure it had nothing to do with the 3 rounds that I played in like freezing temperatures and 25 to 30 mile an hour wind. So, but in any case, another thing is that Kendrick actually went on Nate Edwardson's video about if the groups or players should be paid and compensated for coming out. Kendrick posted that he lost or that Good lost 6 figures on this last tournament. So I just think it's wasteful to try to do the live production. I think that with a recorded production, they can make something really, really good. And I don't think that, especially if these are kind of like secluded or whatever, I don't think that there's going to be like, it's going to be a big deal. Like, I think people, no matter what, are going to watch. And so having a live event is cool, but I just don't know if it's time, like if they're ready for it. If they can find some sort of like less expensive way to do it, and it comes out as a great production, then maybe it could be something that they want to keep pushing. But I think that they should just scrap it and go after a tour. I think it would be much more beneficial, grow the space, and then eventually, in turn, grow Good. So Kendrick, if you're watching this, number one, that'd be awesome. But if this even, you get wind of it, this is your mission, man. I think that you need to, if you're willing to invest money and you're willing to take a loss, I think this is what the best risk reward scenario would be. If I had the resources to do it, I would do it in a heartbeat. I'm an entrepreneur myself, and like I said, if I really had the resources and the following that you guys do, we have, I think we just crossed 100 followers on Instagram, and I think we had 87 subscribers on YouTube this morning. So I hope that we can continue to grow, and we have a bright future ahead of us in the YouTube golf space. But we're not going to be the ones that are throwing this anytime soon. Although I will let you guys know that I am devoting pretty much all my resources, time and energy into Birdie Fever and moving forward in the YouTube golf space. And I would be willing to assist in any way possible to help create this tour. Excuse me. Create this proposed tour. I think that the views that this live event got was a wake-up call, was something special. I don't believe that it was not unbelievable that it got more views than a live or a DP World Tour. Sorry. That was not unbelievable to me. This is the reason I created Birdie Fever. And the reason why we believe that this YouTube space is going to grow. So it's just a matter of when this happens. I think it's going to happen no matter what. It's just a matter of when and who will step up. And I think that Good is best positioned for it. They have all the relationships already. They can get the sponsors. They can do it 6 to 8 events. They can create a week-long event around it where everyone does their collaborations. While they're there, they can be in nice secluded areas, so that it's just makes for good content creation. And I think that the YouTube golf space will be better for it. So I hope you like our idea. If you have any ideas to add or critique or what I've said here or what Peter Finch has said, I don't know if you've watched the Foreplay video or the Nate Edwardson video. I'm going to try to link all 3 of these videos in our description on this video. I'm not sure if this is going to happen all the time or if we're going to make a podcast channel, but this was fun. Just getting in front of the camera and kind of sharing our thoughts on something that I felt was important to share. I haven't really had another topic that I've wanted to jump on here with yet, but this one was great. I think it's probably the most important thing in the overall macro of the YouTube golf space. And so hopefully my input has helped move it forward. So thanks for watching. And as always, like, share, comment on our videos, and let's blow this thing up, baby. Birdie Fever. Caca!